Okay, years back I built a clip-on basket for the front of my Brompton. Clipped onto the stock luggage block, worked really well, however I over-engineered it, it was really complicated. It wasn't the best way to go about it. So I wanted to build something, the same idea, but a lot easier to build. So I got this, the Brompton bag frame. That'll clip onto the front like that. And I got this bucket. This thing, go on like that, put the two together, it'll be much easier to use and probably more practical as well in the long run.
Here are the other parts you'll need. So the first one are some saddle clamps. I got these from the plumbing section of my local home store. They're 15 mil, they fit the Brompton bag frame quite well. You'll need some aluminium bar stock. This is 20 mil by 3 mil, but anything in that range should work. You'll need some basic measuring and marking equipment, as well as some nuts and bolts to hold everything together. Make sure these fit into your clamps. You also need a hacksaw and a power drill, along with some things like a punch and some drill bits. The first thing we're going to do is mark all of our stuff before cutting it. So we want to cut the aluminium a little bit wider than the bag frame, and then we'll put the clamps behind that, and that will kind of hold everything together. So we'll drill 2 holes, and the bolts will go straight through the aluminium, through the clamp, and through the bucket to hold everything in place. We'll mark that on both ends and cut it.
Man, I wish I had a drill press. If you're using bolts like this, then you can countersink the aluminium and the inside will be completely flush when everything's put together.
Here it is, all test fitted. Looks pretty good. Now we can bolt it onto the box.
So once you have this mounted, you can leave out the center 2 pieces, center 2 clamps. You can put it on, make sure everything's centered onto this, and then we can mark these holes like so. Once you've drilled the center holes, you can put on your aluminum bar, put a bolt in here to locate it, and then we'll mark the outside holes to drill as well. That way everything's lined up and we don't have to worry about measuring and cutting. We can cut right off of the part we'll be drilling for.
Now everything's pretty much done, we just have to assemble it. So the aluminium goes in the middle, and then the bolts all go through, and then I just put the clamps on the back and tightened everything down. It's important to note, if you are doing this, you try and find a box with a flat back, so you're not trying to bend it or to make spacers or anything like that. It makes it a lot easier to clamp everything together. I would also use nylock nuts here instead of the plain ones like I used. I did swap them out after because I didn't want it loosening off. It'll help it last a lot longer. And then you're done. This worked really well. I ended up using it quite a bit. I think it's going to be a useful addition to have for when I need to carry things that I wouldn't want to put in my standard bags.
bag frame.